Yeah, it's the Weege show. I don't think we're gonna have quite the level of dynamics with the post-race rider interviews that we got the last couple of weeks. They straight up just said we're not gonna have a media corral, which we'd had the last couple of rounds. I think it started at Southwick. I'm assuming because it's just too hot here at the Maxxis Fox Raceway National 2 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross round 11. Hey, are you guys French? Chile. Okay, I just heard an accent. That's France and Chile, very close though, right? Very similar? No. Do you know Benjamin Garib?
Of course, he's our friend.
He's your friend?
Yeah.
Racing the amateur combine.
Hopefully he gets to the Yamaha pro ranks.
And goes in the pro ranks.
Yeah.
Now why are you guys here?
I'm getting married.
You're getting married here in the US?
Yeah.
So you don't live here?
No, I live here and they came to visit.
Okay, to visit. Since you're from Chile, maybe it wasn't so bad. What was the weather like for you guys? Or was it pretty brutal?
Really hot.
It was really hot. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even if you're from Chile, it's gnarly.
It was brutal today.
Still fun though? Still glad you came?
Excellent. Thank you.
There we go. All right, there's some people who are still fresh. The riders are struggling, but let me tell you something about motocross tradition, okay? We race rain or shine. We've had hellacious mud races through the years. You all know this. It got to 100 degrees today. Riders were hot. It wasn't the hottest race ever because it didn't really have the humidity, but it was hot enough to definitely affect some riders. But it's tradition to race in those conditions as well, and may the strong survive. And it's no surprise that Dylan Ferrandis was strong today, and we'll get to this in a moment, but he did clinch a championship, as you probably already know, and Eli Tomac won the race. Those are the two strong men of the 450 division this year as far as late race endurance and toughness. So no surprise, here's our local radio station. Good job, guys. Spinning the hits, spinning the tunes. We said, all right, buddy. Never even met the guy, that's how it works. And so we just tip the hat to the guys that are in that kind of shape. I'm gonna comb through the pits here and see if anyone is left. There are still many riders and many mechanics and people in this industry who live right around here, so they hightail it out early, especially on a hot day like this. I gotta say, I spent 5 hours in the TV truck in the air conditioning. I'm walking outside now at 5:30. It's sunny, otherwise it's not bad. We'll be back with more. All right, Weege show is back. You watch the show every week?
I watch the show every week.
Okay, now you're in the show. You'll be watching this one for sure.
I'm the mechanic's mom.
You're the mechanic. Oh, Alex.
Yeah.
Campbell's mom. Alex Campbell's mom. Oh, congratulations. That's Ferrandis' mechanic's mom, Alex Campbell. So, okay, we're in the celebration here. I got Weege show. This is Weege. I just lost any future broadcasting gigs. The celebration is on here. We're getting you as behind the scenes we could possibly get.
That's true.
Congratulations, Alex. You've actually won titles 2 years in a row.
Yep.
And your mom's over here. She's stoked.
Oh, she loves it.
Yeah.
We all love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked to Dylan for our best post show earlier. He said no one on the team. Why do we even have? Why is this happening? We have other people from other teams. I don't know.
He worked here in Supercross then?
With Malcolm, yes. With Malcolm, that's right. Okay, so he's still part of the family.
Yeah, it's a family over here.
Alex Campbell, your rider says, the team is like me. They do not have a life. All they care about is winning.
That is true. That is very true. We've been at Florida for a few months now, and haven't seen my wife in 2 months.
Because she's out in California still.
She's in California, yeah. So it's not just me sacrificing things, it's my whole family, my wife, everybody. So it's a big deal. And Dylan is right on that. Like it's for the greater good. Everybody wants to win and we work hard. And then when you have Dylan as a rider, you can't argue with him. Like he literally moved here for this. He lives, breathes, and dies by this. Like everything he does is what's gonna make him best on the weekend. And like you can't argue with him. So if I'm mad that
if he's like that, you're like that.
Yeah, because if you're in the program,
we're good.
If you're in the program, you either get with it or you get out. Yeah. And Dylan's really hardcore like that. So, I mean, I bought in. I started with Dylan in 2019, and since then it's been day in, day out, a grind. And anything he's needed, I try and make his life as easy as I can because he doesn't know a lot of people. Like, moved across the world, and this is his dream and all of our dreams, really. So when you have somebody that's putting 120% in like he is, I mean, it's tough not to. You can't argue with it.
Yeah, well, it pays off.
Yeah,
at times like this, as we say.
In times like this, it does. I mean, there's times where you question yourself. I mean, you're 90+ hours into a week of working, and you're like, what am I doing with my life?
90 hours.
Yeah, or I do practice and race.
Yeah.
So build a race bike on Sunday, fly to Florida on Monday, work on the practice bike Monday night, ride Tuesday, ride Wednesday, fly out Thursday, you know, like stuff
and then
like
get the
that.
practice bike back ready for the next week.
Gnarly. And you wonder what you're doing with your life, but then you realize, like, this is Dylan's life, this is all of our lives. Like, we're consumed by this, and I mean, you have to be somewhat special to realize, like, we're gonna do anything to be at the top. Like, no stone unturned ever. You just keep working and working, and that's what you do. And right now it's paying off. We're around early, Hangtown. We still have another race to go. And we're celebrating right now. Like,
pretty
we
impressive.
need to be thankful for that. It's
Eli Tomac and Ken Roxon, they were here all year.
Yes, they were.
And you won the title a race early.
Yeah. And every weekend we went in for 2 good motos. That's what was our goal. We weren't worried about anything until this second moto today. Like, you could
let it happen.
Kind of. You know? And Ken and Eli, I mean, Ken's from Germany, but like world-class competitors. Like, very respectful, nothing crazy. They didn't pull anything, and Dylan, I feel like, is the same way. But you were respectful. Hey, we won't talk about those times. We won't talk about those times.
I do want. Okay, I'm glad that Dylan brought that up. Look, when you guys want to win so bad, it does sometimes lead to, like, tense moments. I'm sure there probably were behind the scenes, like people pushing each other to get the maximum out of each other.
And even this week, honestly.
No way.
So this week, like, I booked a flight. I love
this. I love it.
So
we did it. We broke it down. Yes.
It's the truth, right? So, and then, so this week, I fly with Dylan's gear since I've been going to Florida. So on Mondays, I drop it off at his house and I land there. And I asked him, hey, like, I'm gonna be going back to California. Like, can I fly home Wednesday night? If we ride early on Wednesday, then I'll be able to go home, see my wife 12 hours earlier after being gone for 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, hey, he's like, yeah, no problem, which is really cool, right? Then the hurricane or whatever, it rains, you know?
Oh no.
We don't start riding until 3 p.m. on Wednesday. I'm like, Dylan, my flight's at 6:30, and he goes, you think I control the weather? I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's a good point. And then that's when you click back to, like, we're here for one reason. This is what we do. So I changed the flight, and I fly out Thursday instead of Wednesday.
So you didn't make it. You didn't make the Wednesday flight.
No, I was still working on my bike at 8 p.m. because I have to get it ready for whenever I go back.
To grind out one more day of riding.
And it's small things like that, but you have to also respect that that's how gnarly he is. I asked him, like, do you really think we should ride if it's muddy? Polo's not going to be muddy. We have a 50-point lead right now. It's late in the season. Like, how much better are you really going to get by one day of riding? Which you can't. I mean, people need to practice to be the best. And his response was, do you think James or RC would have rode? I'm like, wow. And what do you say to that? James, maybe not. RC, probably. Like, and you know what? And then you just, I don't even think I texted him back. I was just like, you're right. I'll see you tomorrow at 3.
Didn't even question it.
See you tomorrow at 3.
Wow. And here you are. I mean, dude, you're like so many years into this. One day's not going to matter.
I mean, but now when you've already been gone for 60 days.
Yeah, I survived.
Well, that part. This is the wife right here?
I
don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you guys. I'm sorry for you guys. But, like, my wife thinks I'm horrible because I'm gone like 3 days a week.
Oh, she's got nothing.
2 months. 2 months.
No, it was longer. It was way longer than that. On and off, almost for a whole year.
Since High Point. I flew out a week before High Point. I went to Florida, and since then. But
you guys do well,
you can't argue about it right now.
No, we're good.
At the time, like, you're frustrated. When, like I said, you're 90 hours in. You're like, what am I doing with my life? But there's only 5 championships in our U.S. a year. 1 in the summer for the 450 class, and here we are.
And you got it. So you're okay. You're okay. Look, she's even got a plate of her own. You made the ultimate sacrifice to get that thing. Hey, did the Husky guys come over and they gave you the Osborne plate?
Dave Feeney, the legend, even though Zach wasn't out there today, he came and passed the #1 plate.
That is badass.
Which is like a tradition. And I think that's pretty rad.
Hold on, I'm gonna do 2 things at once. I'm gonna take your picture with the plate. That is cool because I don't know if anybody saw this. I'll get your wife in there too. You made an ultimate sacrifice. That is cool.
Yeah, so I videotaped it.
The presentation. Yes.
So actually for Supercross, Dylan obviously raced 250s this year. But I passed on the 1W plate to Justin Cooper's mechanic because he won the West Coast.
No way.
Dylan wasn't out there, but like mechanic to mechanic, like you respect, you know what goes into it, the long hours, the long weeks, and I mean it's deservable. So
that is awesome.
And for Dave to do that is really cool.
Yeah, I think people had forgotten. I mean, Zacho hadn't raced since round 2.
Yeah,
exactly. That's cool.
So pumped.
Great stuff. Thanks for letting him do this.
Yes.
It's gonna have to change at some point. We can't live through this again.
Well, now she'll be in Florida, so now
it's gonna be a little better.
Yeah, now we move.
Oh yeah, that's not stressful.
No,
not at all. Congratulations. Hey, this is Brad Hoffman. Nobody even knows Brad. Like, they hear your name.
Yep.
Nobody ever talks to you. No one ever gives you credit. You have turned Yamaha's 450 program, which I don't even know, what do we call your title? Like, we give Coker credit as the team manager, and Bobby's the owner. What are you, bro?
We're going for like a F1 name, team principal this year.
Oh, team principal.
Yeah.
Okay, look, did you have any idea when you started with this team that, look, you are single-handedly, your team, taking over the sport. You could win both of these titles. Cooper's still in it. You're dominating Supercross 250s. Who knows, 450 Supercross someday. Did even you know that someday you would reach this level over here, Brad?
No, for sure. I mean, there was a time where we were wondering what it would take just to win one race.
Sure.
And that was only really only 10 or 12 years ago.
Right.
So,
right.
Sure. I mean, definitely never thought that back then. We were going to be super pumped when we ever won one.
Yeah.
But, you know, in 14, things really turned around in a hurry, you know, and part of that was just, I mean, it had to have been Yamaha kind of reinventing the motorcycle here a little bit. And we've just learned a lot. I mean, part of it is having 20 years experience with the same team. I mean, that's kind of not.
You've been here 20 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jeez,
man. 18 right now, so yeah.
Bobby, like, how did you meet? How did Bobby and you're like OG over here.
Yeah.
How did this come to be?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, when I started, it really wasn't even Bobby. The team was so small that Bobby wasn't even doing like the hiring or anything.
Really?
It was just like, hey, I got this rig, and like,
oh my God,
you're a pretty good rider. You know, you want to do it. So Keith Johnson was kind of like the team manager and one of the racers.
Wow.
And he's actually one that hired me.
No way.
And my first race was that Seville, Spain.
Oh, the Mega Mutter.
Yeah, so
the Mega
I
Mutter.
never even met Bobby, and I met Bobby for the first time in Spain.
Okay.
And so that was kind of a different.
That's some humble beginnings.
Yep, sure.
When you guys took on the 450 program, were you like, hey, we have crushed the 250s. I cannot wait to get a shot at this. We can do this. Or you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be gnarly.
Yeah, I guess I knew we had like good people and a good team.
Yeah.
But the uncertainty a little bit was like, obviously everyone kind of thinks we have the big advantage in the motor.
In the 250s,
class.
yes.
And everyone that's done this for a long time knows in the 450 class, you're not just going to build a fast 450 and win, you know?
Right.
So we were a little concerned about like how much of our experience is like just having a good motor.
Yeah, is that going to help?
Type of thing.
Yeah.
But, like all along, we've kind of always told people like everyone wants to pinpoint it to one thing, and I mean the honest truth is it's just there's so many things between the training program and you know, the engine, the suspension, the bike, and the weight of the bike, and just the managing riders to the psychology of the sport. So I mean the honest thing is like you got to have all that stuff pretty good. You know, you can't be super weak in any one area. So I mean, yeah, it's just that. I'm glad it played out like that, and we weren't just good engine builders on the 250
Well,
side,
right,
you know?
because we never knew in the 250 class, okay, does Yamaha just have a superior engine design, and you guys are just taking advantage of that? Yeah. We can no longer say that.
Yeah.
Because the 450, let's be honest, it didn't have a good rep, and you fixed it in 1 year.
Yeah.
So you got to have extra pride in the team now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a long road to get here, but honestly, everything's went very, very smooth for a first-year team. I mean, there's so many things that we're firing on all cylinders. And probably, honestly, a little bit was probably luck. I mean, just the little things that you need to go right went right, you know?
Yes.
Like little decisions that I was uncertain on, or there's been tons of decision on the 450 team, like, should we go this way or this way? And, like, I think a lot of it was probably a little lucky that we made the right decisions on a lot of things.
Yep.
Whether that's the suspension guy we hired or the engine guy we hired, or just picking the whole crew. There's not one guy that we go, oh, we screwed that up. And honestly, some of that was probably a little bit of luck, you know, because there's a lot of new faces under this truck compared to the old Star team. There's some that are the same.
Okay. Yeah, some Yamaha guys too, right?
Yep. So just there just hasn't been even in Supercross, when I don't know if you'd call it struggling, like it was a good to mediocre kind of area season for us. We were kind of proud that we got each guy a podium, and I think every one of them was their first time podium, so we kind of hung our hat on that a little bit. Like, it's not You know, we weren't winning races, but that's kind of cool stat to have 3 riders and get their first podium. So
that's true.
So that was cool, and there wasn't any like real people mad or struggles going on in Supercross, so it was even a pretty smooth season. And you know, we think we can build on that. So we definitely got our eyes set on Supercross next year.
Yes, and it's onward and upward. There's going to be some additional additions.
Yep.
It's only going to make it better. There's the smile I wanted to see. Right. Brad Hoffman. Unbelievable how far you've come from the Keith Johnson team and Kevin Johnson team. Yeah. All right, see ya. Nobody knows about Brad. That's Mike over there from Yamaha. An amazing story, what Star Racing has done in 1 year, single-handedly. You want a photo?
Yes.
Is that what we're doing?
Oh my gosh.
This has become a thing lately on this show.
Oh, I know. It's everything big to me.
Yeah, there we go. Good stuff. Thank you.
All right.
We're going to go and thank Race Tech, of course, our longtime sponsor of the Weege Post Show. See you, Davey. Race Tech Gold Valves, you know, your suspension will be plusher, better bottom resistance, more traction, made and engineered in the USA. I was pumping up the Race Tech seminars to learn how to dial in suspension. They're sold out. That's the kind of influence we have on the Weege Show. I have no idea if they're sold out because of anything I said. So big thanks to Race Tech. They always back us. They've got great engine services as well. And we'll have to do more suspension seminars because so many people are interested in it. And that's it for our show. Honda, we'll see if they're celebrating a title next week. I don't want to. Can I think I'm kind of jinxing you. We're not even going to talk about next week. We won't talk about next week. We'll see you next week.